Welcome back to the channel for this week. So last week, if you remember, this is Ketchup. We introduced you to Ketchup and Mustard. We got Ketchup all put together and running. We got 2-3 problems left really. First one, this front tire, we ain't got no brakes in the front. So we're gonna work on the brakes first, see if we can get those front brakes to pump up. And then if we get the front brakes working, I got it up all in the jack stands, and y'all can see me struggle with tires. Tires are awful, but we'll see how that goes. We got this new master brake cylinder put on there. Nice and shiny. The problem is it's not feeding brake fluid down through here. And so I'm just cracking this valve right underneath where the brake line comes in. And right here underneath it splits and it goes to each wheel. So what I'm gonna do, wrestle that out. And then make sure we got brake fluid coming out of there. That is some gross, disgusting brake fluid. So we got brake fluid coming out. So now that we got that line flowing down through there, we're gonna hook it all back up, fill this back up with brake fluid, and try and bleed out those. Maybe I'll put you guys on a time lapse. We'll see if that's any better than watching me work like this. I threw that front brake line in the ultrasonic cleaner. I don't know if it's going to do anything. I might have to buy one new for that front. We'll see if it'll help break any of that debris inside the line loose. But in the meantime, I figured, why not punch myself some more? So we'll go ahead and we'll start pulling some tires off, and we'll start with the back ones because those are the worst ones. I just filmed the whole segment in time lapse. That probably didn't do very much good to hear me talking in a time lapse. So this is my Harbor Freight tire changer. It's bolted to the ground here, kind of. I had the anchors coming out of the ground over under the front of the lift, but when I wasn't using the tire changer, I kept kicking those anchors, and I got angry and finally just cut them off. I drilled these holes so that we could pull the bolts all the way out. The holes got a little bit of debris in them right now. I probably should take some time to clean them out and anchor down better, but we'll wait until I can't get the beads to break because this thing's moving a whole lot. Then we'll unbolt it and try and clean those holes out. But it's not the world's best tire changer, but for ATV tires, I can get them on the rim. We'll see if I'll be able to get them to hit the bead though. Those big fat tires on these rims. On Mustard, I was able to get 3 of the 4, but I couldn't get one of the rear tires. I've had these sitting out here for a couple of days in the heat, so hopefully it'll go a little better. We'll see. Holy crap, I can't believe that worked. I don't know if we got that on footage. Oh, geez. I should go back and look. It wasn't sitting on the bead, so I did the starter fluid and lighter, and it worked the first try. Very, very rarely does that work the first try for me, but it blew and popped it all on. Man, I hope the time lapse caught that. All right, so we got a good news, bad news situation. So probably great news. I got all 4 of the tires mounted up. So these were a bugger on Mustard. I let them sit in the garage and get warm for 2 days. And then the starter fluid and the fire worked. They popped right on the bead. So that was a huge, huge win. So all 4 tires, all mounted up. It starts, it runs. The brake line is no bueno. I tried brake cleaner through the line. I tried carbon choke cleaner. I tried throwing it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Nothing. Good news, you can buy them. They're super cheap. It's like 30 bucks for a new one. So I'll go ahead, order a new front brake line in, but it won't have front brakes until the new front brake line comes in. What do you think, number 3? Should we wait for the front brake line to come in to ride it, or should we go ride it now?
I think we should wait.
Cool, let's go ride it now. Let's not let this 50 seconds shortly. Well, we went for our first ride. It was moderately successful. What would you say, number 3?
I have no idea.
So it ran, I got it to shift. The tires are holding air, but it's bogging out on me when I get past like quarter throttle, which would tell me that the main jet's still not clean. But I had a really good spray of carbon choke cleaner come through that main jet. So maybe I'm gonna check my air fuel mixture, maybe check the idle screw, and maybe one of those is a little bit out of whack. And we'll see if we can figure things out from there and maybe try again. All right, welcome back. We got Ketchup back up on the table this morning. I just want to think this morning right now. It's like 7:47 a.m. And one of the things I love about my day job is that I don't work the same schedule every day. You know, there's some days that I'm in work already by 7:47. There's some days, today I'll go in at 10. Yesterday I went in at 12. Because I've got that day shift and the night shift, my schedule flexes around a lot, but it gives me time that I can go and work with them at different hours on different shifts, and then that gives me opportunity. I'm way more productive in the morning. When I get home at the end of the night, a lot of the times I struggle to motivate and do anything, but it's real easy to wake up and come down and work on stuff. So today is the day. Amazon came through. We got ourselves a new brake line. So we're going to go ahead and put this on and then spend the next 4,000 years bleeding all the air out of this brand new brake line. But the nice part, then mustard, nope. I'm colorblind, but I can tell the difference between red and yellow. This one's Ketchup. We'll get Ketchup stopping this morning. Number 1, probably splice a little bit of footage of our ride in. I kept bogging out on me on the top end, so I think I don't have the carb adjusted quite right. I'll probably pull it one more time and just make sure that main jet's good, because, you know, once I hit half throttle, it had nothing, it just bogged on me. So I'll check to make sure no debris broke loose and got into the main jet. Just down the idle, because I was trying to pull it in here this morning to work on it. It just wanted to run away on itself, so it's definitely idling too high. Get it brakes, then we'll go take it for the ride again. Hopefully, we can get that all done in the next hour and 15 minutes before I gotta go shower and go to work today. New brake line, metering block and brake line all installed, and we even have brake pressure. It took like 30 minutes to bleed out that new brake line. I'm sure that there's a right way to do that. I don't know what that right way is, so I just do what I've always done. I just push air out and let air out at the calipers, and it took forever, but we got good brake pressure. Tires are stopping. So I think maybe we'll look at the idle and adjust that down some so it doesn't try and drive itself. Maybe I'll take it for a ride again before I pull the carb and see if the top end magically fixed itself. Magic happens, right? It could have magically fixed itself. So, I I got it idling, but still kind of cutting out at higher RPMs. So I think I probably ought to pull that carb again, even though I don't want to. But on the plus side, underneath the seat here, I still have that old crusty snorkel in there, and I got a shiny new one. Unfortunately, I have to go to my day job. It won't be a bad day at my day job. I just want to get this finished up, but it'll have to wait probably till tomorrow. We'll pull the carb, clean it again, put our shiny new not missing part of it snorkel on there, and then we'll go for a ride. But we got front brakes. That's kind of nice. Front brakes, I guess, are important. Calling that a win for the day. Airbox, all side panels pulled off, pulled the carburetor out, went through that main jet again. So we're going to give this thing a little fire. Open the garage so I don't die. I should do that before I start machines in the garage. That sounds like it's revving all the way out. So we'll go ahead, throw this guy all back together. We got front brakes still. I think we're ready to go try this again. We'll see if the ride rides. While we have it apart, our new snorkel came in. Old busted, new hotness. One of the things we talked about doing was taking a torch to the plastics. I mean, you can see how sun faded this was down there and kind of what it looks like afterwards. It's not great. It's a little bit better than it was. I think maybe I'll throw a little bit of turtle wax on, but see if I can get this thing to light. Just kind of show a little bit. I don't know what this is chemically doing, but it's definitely doing something where, you know, that sun faded section, I'm sure there's probably a better method than this. I've just never done this before. So I was kind of curious and I wanted to try it and see what it looked like, and you can definitely see it's not like a very even coat. Maybe when I come back afterwards with some turtle wax or something like that, I don't know if it's going to even it all out or not. And it might look worse than it did with the sun fading. I have no idea. I just seen some people do this before, and so I kind of want to give it a try and see what it looked like. But it definitely gets rid of some of that sun fading. You know, it's not like a perfect back to the red that it was. You can see right here the red that it was underneath. But it's definitely not as dull as it was before that. So, I don't know. Kind of interesting to sit and play with and see what it does. Just trying something new for the day. I thought it would go down the road and look the work would go up. I mean, either way, go up this one. So this is one of my favorite parts about where we live. This is just a 5-minute ride up the canyon. You can kind of, in the distance, there's Antelope Mountain out there right now. I call it Antelope Mountain because the Great Salt Lake's so low. See down into I-15, Davis County there. But there's this massive waterfall. We're at the top of it right here. You can see a little bit. There's a little waterfall kind of right there. And it kind of trickles through. And then down there,
it drops off probably a good 150 feet. So there's somebody lives there. I think they own this canyon there. They got some like private property, no trespassing signs down at the bottom. A lot of times people will walk up, but. Hi, Mrs. Van Dreck.
Hi.
She's riding mustard, I'm riding ketchup.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful because it's just this nice ice cold mountain stream. There used to be a aqueduct here that they'd capture it and pipe it and run it down, but now it's just running down on its own. But it is just pretty.
All right, Mrs. Van Dreck, how was it?
It was fun.
It was fun. So I'm really torn because these are fun little ATVs to ride. And I'm not trying to quit my day job doing Van Dreck. Like, I'm mostly just flipping these to earn enough money to register all my snowmobiles. That's kind of what my goal is can I keep all of my snowmobiles registered? Because let's be honest, I think I registered one last year. Did we even register yours last year?
Maybe.
We might have registered hers last year. And I think I've got the titles still for like 4 or 5 there. I've never even put in our names. So that's the whole goal of all this. I'm not trying to quit my day job. I'm not trying to make a ton of money. You know, I'm maybe into these $2 grand between the purchase and all the parts and all that kinds of stuff. I know I can get $2 grand, maybe $2,500 out of them. But we can have $2,500 worth of fun really fast. So, I don't know. You might see ketchup and mustard again. They might be sold. But
it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. In other news, you might see this KTM on the lift table. But mostly just me putting it all back together. Because I might have gotten another KTM today. But that one is a 2001, so I can find parts for it. Whereas this 1985 KTM 350 is a booger to find parts for. So, there you go. Thanks for watching this week. And remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.